welcome to One Way, where we go one way, and that's west. So, start with the usual. This is done on a phone. You might hear clawing and scratching noises to make certain maneuvers happen, otherwise the tele's wide stance to prevent that. But it may come at the cost of some accuracy, like walking into trees, buildings, and pits of death. I did not see that part over there. Is it blocked? Yes, it is. Is it going to help us? No, it won't. Alright, so in the last episode, we made it to the, as you can see, past the 8 million mark, meaning at this point, around 366,000 to go before we hit the last traversable block. And we got mountains that just keep coming, even though we want to actually progress. Although that's turning into, it's dying. Alrighty, so how about this? Actually, let's do the tree thing, where we cut distance by using the trees, by pillaring up them and then jumping off. We'll actually do this and that. Sword so we don't hit the wrong button. And that worked. That was a very nice job there. Rarely does the game cooperate. Usually it ignores buttons. It doesn't jump when I press the jump button, when I know I have pressed the jump button. Yeah. Then we're going to have to continue it over there. How about continue? There we go. Probably could take this. And we can move. How are we on 27? Break. So as I said in a previous video, Monday is going to be rained out. Well, not fully. They were saying it was going to be just the morning, and then morning and afternoon. The first break went okay. The second break is the one we're at now. Lunch is uncertain. But we are... Okay, a little further. We're getting a little extra distance in. We'll just do this again. I think we made it to the top, and that is preventing us from moving. But did not prevent us from... Alright. A little further that way. There we go. There's some jumping that didn't happen. I think I'll do it one more time. This may be okay. How about the button that I selected, which would be the blocks? Alright, that may have been a good thing that we weren't allowed to go. Alright, how about this way? Jump. Alright, that would have been a minor deal, not a big one. Alright, keep going. I know it's a little hard because the terrain isn't the best. Although right now it's okay. Oh boy, that was bad. And we're going to swap these out. Right this way. Always could use that. How are we doing? 27. We're plenty good. We got the sneaky sneak on. Yeah, we're good. We're not going to fall much. A little bit there. Boat. Jump. Well done. Although we still got that 256 minor issue. But those mountains are not helping us. And I'm sure you can hear that it's raining a little bit outside. That was a pretty good little run there. Alright, so let's get rid of some junk. Now we can move a little bit forward. That's looking kind of bad over there, so. At least we're heading in the right direction this time, although we clear from that side. I'll find out ultimately here. Alright, there is no way to move forward without doing that. Well, we got the snow, which put the boots right next to each other. That way we can switch over. Yeah, that's not going to work. And we can switch back. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, no, no, no. We don't want that. Place, place. Actually, let's just do that. No, that's not what I said. Let's do this the correct way. Boy, the controls in this game are crap. That. There, now we freed up and no, I don't want to do that. That would be my mistake there. There we go. We have to clear a little bit of a void, and we need to be able to move the player. There we go. All right, this isn't too bad. Okay. I think, okay, we're not fully away from that yet. Okay, now we can move the player. Break. Gotta keep an eye on the clock. Although these regular breaks, I mean, I try not to go over, but it's the lunch ones that matter because those are unpaid. Those are the ones where I lose money for every minute that I stick around. Although I could just simply stick around the extra time to make up for it. How about the sword, which I was pressing? And that time I actually missed the button, so. This time I know we're not safe. Dug down a little extra because I can. Throw the junk away. That button didn't do its thing. Well, not functioning actually kind of is doing its thing, but it's not the best terrain, but it's workable. These type of mountains generally are not the worst. In fact, sometimes they're actually fairly doable. And up. Pressing. Ooh, rare moment that I could get a double jump when the next landing is just 2 blocks. And again, we're going in the wrong direction, but that's where the hill seems to be a little less. Break. I had to stop there because I Alright, we see that continues that way, which is fine because we want to shrink down this number quite a bit. Close, not quite there. And move the player. Alright, we got a steep way down here. Let's pay very close attention to where we're dropping in. Get a little much there, a little much there. It's not terribly bad. Oh, but that one was kind of bad. Alright, so what I'm going to do... Perfect, not quite perfect. Is place boat a little too far off the edge. Yep, board it. So I'm going to back it up slightly and rotate it in the direction where continuing is the direction we want to go. There we go. Lunch might be rained out. I heard now Wednesday there might be some rainouts. So we'll see you whenever may be. We're back. And lunch is getting rained out. Although there seems to be a break coming, but it'll be a bit afterwards, and then another line after that. Alright, I was gonna go, but that looks like a bad decision. Yeah, it goes into a cave, and there we go. Forgot to jump. You know, if I see small changes in downward elevation, I jump so that the guy doesn't stop while dropping down to the next elevation. And we can brake. Brake. Like there and like there. And micro jump, because you know how much I love when that happens. And we got a pit. And poor jumping. And poorly hitting the button. Yeah, if I know I screwed up, that's one thing. But when I'm hitting it and nothing happens, that's another problem. Whoa, whoa. That may or may not have been an issue. I'm not 100% sure on that. And how about eating the food? Eat the food. Dancer and sword. And move the player. That time I did hit jump. That time I was just too late. Ooh, river. Alright, this steepness, we let it drop down. As it did right there. And I'm just going to put a bed here. Another bed there. Deal with the boat a little later. any decade now. There we go. Alright, that's just going to keep going. Oh, there's a river over here. Or is it a trick? No, there's a river, and it's flowing the way we want. Yeah, it's just going in the wrong direction. Ooh, I threaded the needle there, which was good. I did intentionally stop there because I wanted to see what was coming up if that were possible, which it was. And we're jumping. Okay, you gotta hit the button. That'll help. Well, it's a rare moment. Most of the times that it didn't jump, it's I actually not hitting the button. Oh, for a minute I thought this was an ending. Good, because the faster we can get this done, the better. It's still going to take several months. Well, maybe not several. A few to reach the last traversable block. I mean, we got the 8 million part done. Now it's the other 388,608 that we're trying to get to. 70% of the way there when we're at 8,088,608, and nice jump. And move the player. Oh, that time we didn't want to move the player. And yeah, we fell down. Fell down and go boom. Yeah, here it looks like we fall down, make really big boom. And I see ocean, we just need to get there. The jump timing is very good lately. Alrighty, into the water. Halfway through the next 10,000, or quarter of the way through the next 100,000. But we typically make progress episode by episode by the 10,000, not by the 100,000, because we ain't moving that fast. Nice. Oh, I think I see a desert temple. Finally. Desert. What little of a desert there is, but it's enough for a temple. And jumping. That time I did press the jump button. Oh, too far. Move the player the other way. There we go. Been blindsided before, even in well-lit ones, so important to check surroundings before we do this. Is it worth it? So far, not so bad. That helps. That's a good thing. Not the best, but it was okay. It was pretty good. We had some good stuff in there. Let's get out. Pressing. No. All right. There's got to be something in this building. Yeah, the basement has issues too. I sneezed down there as well. I'm okay in the house. Keep going. Here comes a village of sorts. It's not much of one. Alright, this is a mess. This is the one that's all farmers, apparently. Alright, sun's close enough, we're just gonna sleep in here, and we can't shut the door because it's very thin. As you can see, the sun, I'm gonna put this down. Sun is very close to setting. Get a free bed, don't have to use one of our own. It's starting to get dark. Alrighty, it's all yours, and away we go. Could have made that. Or how about the dirt? Jump. Okay, we could have jumped when the jump button was hit. I'm going to start that now. That way's not as easy. This way is, it goes up the hill a little better. Yeah, I gotta keep an eye on the clock. With these lunch breaks, as I mentioned before, any minute that I lose, it is something I have to make up. So I try to end this a little early if I'm able to. Oh, good, we can get around this thing. Ooh, the ocean right there, or a river. Well, let's find out what it is. Seems river-like right now. Like a little more this way. Yeah, that works. Tried to jump that. That didn't work. Village over there. Not where I wanted to be. Or how about we jump? Jump. Alright, again I missed the button. No good. Alrighty, we are full. A temple up there, or what? We're gonna find out. Bit of a hike, though. Still need another. There we go. It's a desert temple. Move the player. Alright, that might have been a bad idea. Oh yeah, I could make some that I... Uh-oh. What must we give up? Well, I have an answer. But before we do that... Wrong answer. Alright. Let's see. That one. And let's just... Oh, we got rid of them. Yeah, the gold's not going to matter much now. Or a little bit. Alright, we're getting somewhat close to having to call it good. Move the player. Move the player. Yeah, that was too steep, so we let the natural slope take care of that. And now we got a village, which will just steal a bed to sleep. All right. Not gonna have much time to do much more. And yeah, we got enough of the apples right now. Actually, we can, while we're here, fix that. All right, we can move. Actually, I want to stick around here just a little bit. All right, no smithies. Jumping. Alright, so what I'm going to do, here's an opening. Lunch is about over, so place. There we go. Now we're safe from falling through the world if we're not on a half block increment. Alright, I gotta get going. See you maybe Wednesday. Don't know. See you whenever the next time is. We're back. Seems staying off axis is the safest way to go. For a minute I saw sheep. How are we doing with the wool count? 60. We just need 3 more. That's the optimum number, so we're not wasting any wool. I think you can make 21 beds. We have been in that position where we had to resort to making our own beds, literally. I realized there was a pit. Wasn't a very big one, and that was a jump that was pointless. And speaking of sheep, there's 1 or 2 more. I'm not sure. It all depends on luck. Yeah, that one I don't want to go too far. Okay, mangroves, which are kind of a pain, but at least it doesn't have the monsters spawning if it's a little dark. Got lucky there because jump button decided to do what it does best, which was absolutely nothing. Now if we can just have the water and favorable places go in the correct direction. Alright, so get rid of the junk. I didn't count how many I had, thought I just had 1. I didn't hear more pop in. And this jungle. Well, I mean, so long as it's bright. Now, this is an area where dark areas are a problem. And we jumped somehow. I think there might have been a vine there. Nice jump. Can't say the game failed because it actually did jump, just wasn't very good. That time I did mind because I pressed it and nothing happened. Alright, let's just grab a couple of these, break it. That way we can step up here and move. Ah, good. Exit. So it is Wednesday. This is supposed to be the last bad day, and I think it's supposed to be over, and yeah, famous last words. Supposed to be over before the second break. Supposed to only more or less... Oh, I'm heading in the wrong direction again. Here I'm thinking, how about we place the boat? I was thinking I needed to head more towards the north, but north was the direction we were off by. I love it when I think I'm off in one direction, then head in said direction instead of countering. As the closer to zero, the slightly better the accuracy is. Although at this far, the 4.2 million point doesn't seem to be having as much of an effect. Then again, part of getting out this far was there was a desert, then there was a temple, then there were villages, then another temple. Most of the temples were good things. And the 80-30 kilometer block. And of course, now this way's turning into mountains. That way, a little less, but this is a good spot to get on. Probably have fewer problems, especially when there's a river flowing through it. Yeah, brake. How are we doing with the... We're all right with this, but we'll just grab a few more anyway. And it looks like we're not going to be able to avoid this. Let's It's just getting worse as we go. Well, we got this rock outcropping over here that we can safely call it a night. Especially if we turn where I want it to turn. Not where I want it to be, but close enough, because I can still hop on over. I got 61. $61 wool. Cool feature? Oh, well, I saw the end there. That could have been a cool feature, but like I said, looked like it turned into a waterfall, so much for that. Chest is right here, which is good, especially when we can get that close to it. Alrighty, so we on gold. 8 pieces. We could actually make another golden apple. But we'll just go a little further. Probably when we're on land, if I remember to do it. Yeah, looks like we're not avoiding things that we want to avoid. Yeah, it just keeps doing it. So we are stuck. In a regular game, this is probably a great find. In where we want to get to, where we're going as fast as possible, not so much. And this far out, even more of a pain. No. Or how about jump, and we press the jump button? Well, we didn't want that. There's no winning. We gotta jump across and climb a mountain. And how about further back? There we go. And how about this way? And jumping! Well, I missed the button, so. I picked up 5 pieces of junk. And we can jump. Break. And place. Not necessarily a waste. It got us closer to where it's a little easier to get around. And we can, all right, good. Actually, no, don't do any more. Okay. Oh yeah, now it's pointless. That village up there, yeah, that's a project village. Those are the ones we ignore, because we can move the player ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. Oh, I got one down here. Don't know if it's the same one. Alright, that building is useless. Now we can move the player. Jumping. Alright, full house. Farmers we're not interested in. Jumping. How about not micro jumping? That would help. That jump was pointless. Alright, we're getting pretty close. Okay. Of course, that's how it works. Looks like we can skip the mountain. Flirting with the 256, but not quite. Alright, that jump didn't go the way I was hoping. That was a bit of a drop. I'm seeing a roof forest, which I'm not a fan of, but keep moving. And we can break. The alternative was worse, so that was just unnecessary, but yeah, look who did it. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is once we get to this water, we're just gonna not bother with it. Place. Good. So, am I coming back today or not? We'll find out. And we're back. Of course, a new packet of rain just had to start when it was time for break. It literally was not raining a few minutes ago. But then again, it would start raining during break if I did go out. So, I mean, not exactly winning either way. And jumping. That was a good continuation there. Let's... No, let's just do this. Move the player. Oh, there's a... The stinking forest there, I don't want it. No jumping. 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 Probably should be jumping when I'm pressing the button. Might help. The bad part is anything in there probably spawn monsters. Okay, we can move the player. Press the jump button, probably should mean jump. Call it the strangest idea ever made. And we can jump when we press the button. Oh, we need to break our way through. No, I did not say block. I said jump. Jump time. Press jump button. Jump button means jumping. The controls in this game are just dead. Oh, we got... And we have a skeleton. And we can move the player. Too far. Move the player. Move the player. Gee, when it mattered, it actually moved. And here we are on this thing. Now, if the jump button would actually do its job, this would be a lot easier. All right, we got ocean down there. And no safe way down here. Oh, actually we do. If we take it slow. Alright, how about a safe way down? Okay, here we go. I want to look first before we leap. Yeah, we don't have a really good way down. We have diamond armor, so a little bit of a bang, eat a golden apple. Now, we're not going to go nuts with this, but I think we might need more. Oh, actually we don't. How about the sword? The button I pressed. I think what we could do is if we go a little further this way, a little further that way still, we're lined up where we can just hop aboard and land over there. Yeah, I know there's the ocean, but I want to get away from this biome. I don't like... Not like we had to deal with a skeleton. I don't need to deal with any more. Especially with the distance effects that happen right now. I know we are going to get away from it because we saw it from above. Plus we're getting a little closer to 0 point. this one just to clear. Then we pick that up as a bonus. Could. Now we can't move till there. There we go. Ocean either way, except this way was a lot less deadly. And move the player. $62. Let's continue on. So we need one more in theory. Pressing the X. Boat time. Alright, now we're going to run, and when I press jump, we're going to jump. We're going to do a new thing. We're going to actually listen to the controls. Which it didn't do, of course. That was like asking for a miracle. Anyway, away we go. Alright, the roof forest is gone. Now we're into the colder climates. Or those of moderate temperature, one or the other. Pine trees tend to indicate that. And those ships we usually tend to ignore because at this distance the treasure chest that matters with all the good stuff generally does not spawn, and it's usually a waste of time. Similar to the Woodland Mansion, granted there's riches that are good, but with the distance effects, it's just too dangerous to try it. Major time vampire. We're trying to get somewhere. A normal game of Minecraft would be good, but this ain't a normal game of Minecraft. This is attempting to get to the striped farlands in survival. And to be honest, I don't think we will succeed, but at least my hope is that we can get to the last traversable block, which we are not, relatively speaking, not very far from. Nice jump. Well, no. All right. Here is about good enough. Just waiting for the sun to set. We got maybe 3 or 4 more minutes of action once we do. Any moment now. Any moment now. Any moment now. There it is. Oh, that wasn't ocean, that was frozen. I mean, if it were to have been a continuous piece, then I would have taken it. Nice jump. Glad the jump button worked. Alright, we don't have a way up. Now we do. No, we don't. Break. Oh, come on. Break. Oh, of course, we had to have a tree right here. What are we doing? Oh. And there has to be a tree there. Place the boat. Place the boat. Boy, I tell you, it is terrible. Alright, it looks like we have a more or less continuous bit of ice here, so... Nope, don't want to swim. Want to get up. There we go. Place the boat. Make me some distance. Well, it did. All right, we've got a couple more minutes that we can do something. Yeah, whatever. It's not filling in anymore, so... Could see in the distance that... no, we want to move. Okay, that works. Alright, it looked like that this just ended, but it didn't. But it's still relatively flat terrain, so we're good. And that time we failed to jump because I actually missed the button. Move the player. Yeah, that was a bit important. There was a polar bear. Not realizing... Unless that was a rabbit, I wasn't sure. I don't like my position here. And nice jump. Way too many polar bears. And I'm just gonna, because it's close to break being over, just place the boat. Alright, that bear isn't coming our way. We're safe. Alright, see you Supposedly lunch is going to be okay, but then again, looking at the weather and it seems spotty again, so who knows. Maybe I'll see you at lunch. If not, well, see you whenever. We are back. You can tell by the machines if you are a veteran of the show. It's washer dryer phase. So it's the big push. Well, we're going to do it anyway. Well, I was hoping that we could have went through the snow and we could just plow through the rest, but then I noticed it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was a cliff, so it wouldn't have mattered. Nice jump. Well, perhaps the press was a bit off. Same there. Well, I guess sometimes I hit those vines, I gotta remember that it might just activate the jump on its own, which is what happened there. Okay, we can move the player. Okay, that's single block. I did not know if that was going to be a pit. Rather play it safe, so I stopped to be sure what I was looking at. And this is a chance because control was so blah. Yep, see, this is why. And we need to move the player. Brake was pointing to the one on the left, not the one on the right. And through the world it goes. This is stupid off by one crap. And that has to go away. That's not how I wanted to go away. Fell through the world like that boat did. So, boat, chest, boat. Okay, turn this way. Yeah, well, I thought it wasn't gonna be, thought it was solid all the way through, but apparently it wasn't, and I couldn't have turned. Let's see, let's just... Alright, I guess we'll turn a little this way, I guess. How about the sword? Well, it kind of worked. You know what also will work is if I press jump and jump happens. Nope, not micro jump. I want jump, jump. And the player is moving. Okay, I'd like to move. We should be able to move. working, but good enough. If I had a little extra time, I'd try to trick the game into moving me up another position, but we need to do this. There we go. Now, next time we see oaks, no, we don't want to micro jump. We want to be moving the player. Micro jumping does not move the player. Nice jump. Glad you decided not to do your job again. Let's keep going this way. That was convenient. Thank you, sir. Now I'm going to steal your beds. Because I can. How many do we need? That's not in the right position. That is in the wrong position as well. 2 more. Pressing buttons. And we're going to hitting the stick. Alright, 1 there. 1 more bed. And I think we're full. No, we're looking at inventory. I swear the controls are so dead in this game. Looking for smithies, which are rare, but they do exist in this in these villages. Alright, keep going. Oh, yeah, we're gonna move the player. We're moving the player now. Why are we not moving the player? There's random points that it just doesn't want to move. Oh, that just happened to be a happy coincidence that was right there. What's not a happy coincidence is ice spikes. We don't want those. We're jumping. Okay, we gotta hit the button. That helps. And the player can move. The player can move. Oh, can't. Brake. The brake button means braking. Alright, we do have a clear path here. Just got to get to it. Okay, just have to get through that. There we go. Get through that. Alright, actually that helped a little more. Then we got a village over here. Might just do a quick drive-by. Yeah, I don't see any smithy-like buildings, so... And go. I know we're going past the 256, but this looks like the way that it's going easier. Alright. Okay, again, I didn't know what I was going to be stepping into, so we stopped. And move the player. Oh. That's why we try to stop. That is why we try stopping. If we notice something. We almost died. And that to the right is actually not going anywhere. We're not going to be able to move because we're half on ice. There we go. Turn. Do we have enough? No. We'll waste one. Kinda need it for the health. Jumping. Jumping. I think I was pressing the jump button, which you were conveniently ignoring. Well, this isn't helping much. Oh, maybe it might. If we had any control over it. Over here. here is a bed. Let's just make things a little more interesting. Okay, this is bad. Okay, this needs to break. We're still in the boat, that's why it was a problem. This is bad. There we go. There we go. Now we're starting to make some progress again. And move the player. Oh, no, we can't. And the rabbit falls through the world. Alright, so place the boat and a little further. We're turning now this way. Alright, this is okay, not worth it. It'll be faster just to jumping. When we press the jump button, we should be jumping. How tiring does this get? Dave Grohl. Yep, move the player. Over here. All right, there we go. Oh no. This crap. Go. Why did they patch this? These used to be the best parts of the world. Now they suck. Place. Alright, you know what? It's easier just to get off here. That actually went alright. Yep, keep going. Keep going. No one said to stop. Yep, move the player. And go. Can we make it to, what's the number? 80-40 kilometer block before the dryer phase starts. We're already on washer phase, now it's just a matter of the dryer. Alright, this is pointless. Alright, we stop there because I don't know what I was looking at. Alright, it wasn't death, but I wasn't sure. Oh, I would like something besides this garbage. It wasn't garbage till they patched it up to be like Java. And we don't have a boat again. Pressing the X. Boat, chest boat. Yep, in the water. Good. It'd be nice with some land. Kinda need land. Land is a bit important, and we got to the 80-40 kilometer block. And we're jumping. Place. Oh, we got land nearby. So, yeah, we can't do that. We were not pressing the bed. Nope, I'm not swimming. Oh, I really hate this. Yeah, I can't do that. And we can jump when the jump button's pressed. It's amazing. And jumping. Again, this is just aren't we? Place. You know what? This is our safety bed. Because we have that one that's out in the ocean. We will not have a way to reach land. So, yeah, we kind of had to do that. So if we were to croak, we would have a way back. Alright, you are not helping. Turn. Nice jump. Glad the jump button didn't work again. Pressing buttons. We should react to that. Well, it's stupid, but I think it's a good idea. We should be pressing. We're placing. Yeah, that was a bad jump. And we're not moving. All right, let's place. more. Yeah, this is a tiny tree. Let's just make things slightly better. Junk. Yeah, we can move. Alright, that would have just been annoying. Nope, I want bed. Away. Break. Break. 2 more. Nice to press jump and jump were to happen. Let's just... Alright, I guess. We don't need that anymore. Move the player. There we go. Sort of. Alright, let's check the wood count again. 40. Yeah. Okay, we're going to need to temporarily or permanently get rid of something. Okay, yep, breaking. How many do we have? Okay, we got the 2, so what's the number? 40, 48, 52, 56, 60, and 64. We should have 64. And we're pressing that. And we risked losing the cobblestone, and we lost the cobblestone. And we're jumping. What's this that we're coming up to? Okay, not fatal. Place. Well, the timing of that kind of crap. Well, the sun's about to set, so... Alright, so the sun's setting, so you can get away with this a little bit. I'd like to be moving a little bit more. Press the button again. All right, so brake. All right, so I'm gonna sleep here, and we'll see you on dryer phase. And we're back. And for some reason, I don't understand why, the game decided that I didn't need to position my guy before the video was to restart. So as it was counting down, which AZ Recorder does before it records to let you know it's ready to go, I get the guy in position if he's not facing the right way, and the game refused to work. What a surprise. Okay, I guess we can... Nice jump. Glad the jump button worked again, like it usually doesn't. And there's no safe way that way. Not what I said. Not what I said. It's probably... We're gonna brake now. And get rid of the junk. Get rid of... Oh, actually, we could have put that in with the other inventory. Alright, we plateaued. See water, we like that, and Dave Grohl there. We have 62, we're pressing the X. We have the optimal 63. And we can keep moving the player. Board. Perhaps pressing the board button might have meant bored. Like I said, the controls in this game are incredibly dead. The goal is to hopefully make it to 80-50, barring cliff, ravine, cliff, ravine, cliff, ravine. I think we'll make that for sure. And of course, I mention this because I don't, if you're watching for the first time, in order to move the boat, especially in diagonal rivers, you have to waggle it back and forth. You cannot just aim it anywhere you please. Within a 30-degree range, you can. But once you go past that, you're not doing at least the 5 blocks per second minimum speed in order to keep moving. So you have to rock the boat back and forth to move along the diagonal and also to keep moving east and west. Of course, more so towards west, because that's what makes the negative number bigger. Boring as these oceans are, although warm oceans, you got the coral, which is a little something to look at. Boring as it is, it's the second fastest way to get to where we're going. The fastest is kind of broken now, which used to be the frozen over oceans. Pressing a button. Now we're going to put those away. Yeah, this might be a bad decision, but... And we got it all? Yes, we did. Alright, we do have headroom. Now we're just looking for any smithies that might exist. Doesn't look like they do. See, this is a little too broken up to successfully traverse, so just gonna go along the side. And I was turning in, so maybe we would see these things right there. That keeps moving as I'm trying to point to it. I don't like how dark that is, please. this. Junk. Not junk. Actually, pretty halfway decent there, and junk. I don't know what caused that. Alrighty. And move the player. And move the player. Actually, what I'll do is I'll place it here. Go. Alrighty, move the player forward. Yeah, and we move this way. And we will just go a little further this way so we line up with this village a little better. No, not there. Not there. Close enough. Why are we not moving the player? Okay, we got the boat. Eat the food. Yep, eat the food. Eat the food. Try eating the food when eat the food is pressed. Bed count, we need 1. Cactus hit here. Oh, apparently not. Why are we whacking? I literally wasn't pressing any buttons. Alright, we did get it. Looking for smithies, I do not see any. desert temple way over there. Find out it's the only structure I know of that points only in a certain direction. In this case, it's always north. This is why we check. And we can move the player. And we can move the player. I mean, there are instances, it's very rare, but creepers generally cannot move towards the 5 blocks per second barrier, so I'm not too move the player. Too nervous about his position, and we can move the player. And move the player, move the player. Move the player. Okay, how about a little less yawn? We should be fine. Place. Nice jump. Alright. That's just a desert well over there. player. Move the player. 3 bed. Do we need any? No, we don't. I don't see any smithy buildings, so I mean they're very rare for a desert village, but they do exist. Okay, this is not a way to go. Jump! Unexpected jump, but we took advantage of it. Okay, there wasn't a... Okay, there was an elevation change there, but I jumped for one that didn't exist. And that's just to simply keep the guy moving forward as we change elevation. Otherwise, if you have noticed, when we change elevation, we don't move when it's east to west, like we're going to do now. Jump. Oh, I didn't expect to get that far. Okay. Hit. Alright, this is buried, so yeah, not worth the effort. another desert temple. I mean, we're just gonna run alongside it to align ourselves. Alright, how about we move? How about we move? Alright, we almost lined up at the door. And we can just walk right in. See if any goods are coming out of this one. A little bit. A little bit more. Definitely more. That helps. It was an okay one. Nice jump. Oh, this failed. This did not work. We're going to place. Sword. Bed count, we're full. Okay, we actually don't need them. And we can move the player. Thank you, Mr. Villager. Alright. Okay, there was no gradient there. There was one there. Again, I pointed myself in the direction I thought I was needing to go, but it was the wrong way. Over here and go. this process here. No, I want to use this. Sometimes it works. I don't understand that. Try to drag the item to split it up so I can make sticks. Most of the time it doesn't work. It either just goes to one box or the other, or it just does nothing. It actually worked that time. I saw that one coming. Too late. That's what the quote-unquote extra decoration has caused an issue over. Being able to see those ocean monuments. Now we got the dreaded mining fatigue as we're about to cross the 50 kilometer block. The minimum goal, which really wasn't setting the bar very high, but it was what we want to at least reach, because that's what we want to do. And there we are, 80-50. Well, we can go this way. Thought we were landlocked. Oh, yeah, mining fatigue. We can't break blocks for a bit. For another 2 minutes and 14 seconds. How long is this going to take? A while. And jumping! Imagine that. Nice jump. And go. How about food? I wanted food. Not the correct answer. Pay attention to that block that was there. Place. It is a dead set of controls. I don't know what I jumped over, but if it were deadly, I got lucky. Oop, stop. Alright, that wouldn't have been deadly, but it's not a place we want to go. Where's the player? The player. Something's in the wrong position. things are not in the correct positions. Doesn't belong. It's not deadly, so if we veer, we're going to be alright. And we didn't, so that's good. What isn't good? Roof forest. Place. Go. And move the player. Nice jump. Glad you were swinging swords instead of jumping. And going. That was actually a halfway decent go. Jumping. Place. Ocean. Once again, that helps us get further. May be boring, but it helps us get further. Every render distance for every render distance length that we travel, we've set at 14, so whatever 14 by 16 is, excluding the chunk that we're in, it's a little more than 2% of the way towards the next 10,000 each time we clear one of those. So we're getting close to 40%, just cleared 39. I see the ocean monument that time. And we have avoided it. No mining fatigue this time. Alright, halfway there towards the next 10,000, which would be the 80-60 kilometer block. Need some land at this point. Until we have land that we can reach. Oh, there we go. If the sun were to set, we wait till there's land that's reachable, north and south. Or as we can do before, we plant a bed, then as soon as we reach land where it's possible to probably regain resources and stuff, place a second bed down and use it. Oh, I don't like how we just got blocked. Alright, over this way. That is not the direction I wanted. That 100% defeats the purpose of what we were looking for. And we can move the player. How about we move the player? Why are we over here? about over here, where I was aiming. That's odd. I was pointing over here. Why is that over there? Boy, controls in this game are just terrible. And I noticed it in Windows 10 too, especially the when I'm pointing towards a block and it decides to break the neighbor instead, even though I'm not pointing towards said neighbor at all. Opening here, hopefully that's a river as well. And we're going to get to 60% before landmass anyway. And since we got our 63 wool, we're bypassing sheep. We don't need them anymore. And of course, because somebody did ask, so it's worth repeating anyway, why I'm just not killing sheep and gathering wood and making beds that way. That's why we're given villages. Just take them from them. But we have ran into severe village droughts where I needed those 63 wool and as much wood as I could grab. It has happened. So it's there for when we hit a severe village drought. Well, that was dumb. Fortunately, it wasn't a big drop. Oh, there wasn't a drop there. Jumping for something that wasn't there. Nice jump. But when I do want to jump, it won't. We need 3 beds. There's one. We can go forward. There's 2. Jumping. It's not what we said. Fortunately, we did not tap that. Alright, that is useless. We're jumping, we're jumping. Alright, this I don't think is, yeah, this is not a useful building either. Go. Yeah, I'll start looking at the dryer when we hit the 80-60 kilometer block, because we're getting somewhat close to it at this point. Wait a minute. You can turn. up there. I don't see anything that's a smithy. Yeah, so I'm avoiding the projects. And we just need one more. And there we go. Be sure, sometimes it goes through the world and you don't see it happen. Okay, good. The river's going in the wrong direction. Get out of the water. Nice jump. About progress. Again, frozen oceans used to be good, now they're crap. It's almost no freedom of movement. We might as well stick to land if we can. Lakes and rivers, on the other hand, are still that can still be completely frozen over. Those we definitely take advantage of. And it looks like we might have something sort of resembling that in this direction. Go. Turning in the wrong direction. Although, no, stop. Over here. Over here. Normally spikes out this far, not good. Just make it more interesting again. 84% of the way there, almost 85. Less than 10% of the way to go. I'll take about 4.5 render distances. So every time we clear that 200 or so blocks, which is a render distance as it's set up, we will make it to 8060. Before we hit land, we will hit the 80-60 kilometer block. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10. Major goal accomplished. Now it's just bonus time. So like I said, when we sleep, I'm going to check the dryer because gone long enough we could probably figure out how many more sleeps we can do. It's supposed to be some more crappy weather days this coming week, so it's quite possible there might be a segment or two or several, as it's rain is not falling in predictable manners. It's a little band. Sometimes they hit us, sometimes they don't. It's not like a swath of rain coming in. village. Yeah, we don't actually need beds now. That helped. What's the player? Oh, that hurt. Nothing there. There's the player. Alright, bad jump. Yeah, you know what? This wasn't really the way to go. Then again, there is no way to go. Turn this way. It looks like it's getting darker. Purple bed is next. Yep, the sky's getting darker. Alright, I want to see how much time is left on the dryer. 1, 2, 3, 4 more sleeps. Okay, we have a slot, so we can grab a golden nugget here. Although we shouldn't say nugget, because those are actually things. And we can make 2 more of these. Place. Place. If they were drowned, we would have been in trouble. Nice jump. You gotta hit the button. How about we... There we go. make sure I got the count right. It seems we're moving pretty well, folks. I'm trying to get a read of the dryer timer, and yes, I do have the correct count. I've just, sometimes when the percentage towards our next 10,000 is a lot higher than normal, I want to verify that I haven't skipped a count. It's unusual to get 40% of the way there before the next sleep. Which, here comes the sun now. See the ocean monument way to the left. We're fine there. We need usable land. If there were land that we could easily get to from the north or south direction, then we would have stopped there. We're at a point now we really don't want to blow it. We're at the point of reaching the first objective, the 8,388,608, which is the last traversable block by normal means. We can no longer run or sprint. In fact, we have to be in or on something that's a block in size or bigger. That is an entity. Otherwise, fall through the world and die. It is literally impossible to continue from there without that. And like I've said before, I've been playing with ways to go about it. If I can make my way to I don't like where I'm at. I don't like what I'm seeing. To go. Thick jungle, exactly what we don't need. Alright, we're not going to get by it. Nice. It's going in the wrong direction. So 3 more sleeps to go. Jumping. And that was a poor jump there. Oh, no reason to jump there. Go. player. Place. Alright, that would not have been death, but it would have been very inconvenient. Missed the water. Kind of a chance I took. Place. That would not have killed us if we went over the little gap. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it makes a world of difference. Nice jump. Yeah. Not going to help us. Jumping. No, how about over here? Move the player. Here. Good. Good. Not good. Place. Up. Leave one more sleep after this. Yes. The next sleep is the end. Oh, wait a minute. 2 more sleeps. I miscounted. So 2 more, not the next one. So we should get into 80s, 70s. 2 more sleeps. And yeah, this is just going to keep continuing, so wasted time. And over here. Alright, there is a safe gap over here. Place 90, so we're gonna hit it. So got at least another 2.5% unobstructed, and as we can see, it's gonna be more than that. As I said, it's set at 14 chunks. It's a legacy distance. Distance that the first phone I used, the LG G3, could handle. Actually, it was the farthest you could render. The original Android far distance. Similar to why I keep the 50th birthday world on Bedrock at 16. It's the same far distance that originally was Bedrock. Far distance was 16 chunks. Plus with the locked-in 12 chunk simulation distance, going that much higher than 12 just looks phony. Oh, got lucky. Went the wrong way. And it actually, by default, when it didn't have, okay, we can move the player. When it didn't have, when we didn't have the caves and cliffs where the terrain got much higher and lower, it was capable of 40 chunks without even breaking a sweat. In fact, the frame rate stayed just as high as I have it on it at 16. But it just looked phony that it's got all this distance that you can see, but only a postage stamp of it is active. And that postage stamp was the 12 chunks of simulation that at the time you were allowed to have, and it's locked in once you've selected it. So I now know you can go, I think, 24 chunk simulation, but I can't change that. It was set at 16 and 12, and that's where it stays. So I have the render distance at 16, so it's the original far distance plus nope. Plus I can, it won't look as bad with just 4 chunks of rendering that doesn't really it's just there. 15% battery power. Are we even going to get to the last? No! We stopped in time, that's all that mattered. No, not what I wanted. That's how we fell in a pit of death. Because it just goes off in whatever direction it felt like. No, I don't want to do that. I want to move. I know it's dark, but there's also water. Boat. Alright, that went pretty well. Oh, and we did get to the 8070. Alright, so this is the part where the game says, screw you, you've done enough. We're gonna just throw brick walls in your face. As I mentioned before, I don't think I mentioned in this video, I don't like it when it rains in Bedrock, because the thunderstorms don't work like they're supposed to. Any rain condition becomes a thunderstorm. It could be this light-looking rain. It could be the slightly, the heavy rain. What it's supposed to be is the clouds are supposed to get the sky gets dark, and the clouds are supposed to turn black. And that's a thunderstorm. It doesn't do that. Any regular rainstorm, rain event, becomes that thunderstorm. How about over here? And I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Let's see. Nope, don't want to duck. Are the clouds turning? Yes, they are. Let's move the player. Let's move the player. That means move the player. Alright, now that's the last sleep. Before we call it good for the day. I like moving. Alright, let's see what we can get done in our final push here. I'm probably not going to get terribly far. How about jumping? Yeah, that wasn't going to work. Brake. We want to be careful. We want to be sure we're not doing that. And move the player. You can move the player. How do they play games? Alright. Get a little distance in, hopefully. Alright, got an extra 1,000 blocks in. Nice to get more. I mean, we've went over 4,500 blocks in instances. Granted, that was just making life easy, but whatever hopefully helps. Anything helps. This 30,000 is what we would like each time, which is really hard when washer dryer phase is the only time that we sometimes have because the weather cooperates. Like seeing that. You've had to climb those. You don't want to do that. Full thing. See. Nope. Seen a few of those. Really cool cave that we can sail right through. Alright, we like things other than the worst possible biomes, although This isn't terribly thick. In fact, there's a river flowing through it. There's a temple. Turn. Move. Okay, move the player. Seems they like to point north, all these entrances. Move the player. Place. Place. Now let's look at our... Alright. Of course, we can solve the puzzle, or we can just do this. Break. Alright, so let's just this, some pants, and put them on, throw that away when we get to it, and another golden apple. Okay. Board. Turn. Huck that away. Alright, we're just going to go across the... In fact, we'll retrograde slightly. Alright, so more or less we are at 8,072,952. It'll be just slightly less than that when we start. So this is one way. Georgia551 saying, hope you enjoyed and have a good one. And this is the part where we sleep. There we go. Good night, everybody.